Yo, I'm just gonna say something right now. Kenley Jansen has now blown 4 saves over the course of his World Series career. I haven't blown a single save ever in my entire life. So if the Dodgers need someone that's gonna post a 0 ERA, I'm free. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB World Series recap. Wow. That is really the only way I can summarize what happened in game number 4. And I'm so mad because I had a killer migraine yesterday. If you've never had a migraine, they are awful. So I made it from innings 1 to 9 completely unscathed. I was perfectly fine, and then with 1 out in the 9th inning, the Excedrin PM kicked in and I fell asleep. About 10 minutes after the game ended, I woke up like, what did I miss? I only missed one of the greatest endings to a World Series game in the history of baseball. So I'm a little bit fiery today, and if you missed the game, we'll go ahead and recap it right now. If you're brand new to the channel, we do this every single day, so do not be afraid to hit that like button as well as the subscribe button. And yesterday I said that Justin Turner was the #1 player in Dodgers history in terms of postseason home runs. Well, I was wrong. He was tied for first place with 11, and then yesterday he took sole possession of first place with his 12th postseason home run. He put the Dodgers up 1-0, and then guess who came in clutch yet again? Corey Seager. He makes it 2-0, and he makes me wonder if he's still available, because do we remember at the beginning of, I would say maybe the end of 2019 going into the beginning of 2020, when Francisco Lindor was pretty much going to get traded to the Dodgers? It was almost a done deal in the hearts of a ton of different baseball reporters and analysts. It was going to be Corey Seager, Dustin May, and Tony Gonsolin in exchange for Francisco Lindor, and the Indians said that's not enough. Now, I don't think that Corey Seager for Francisco Lindor is even fair, let alone adding in Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. I think right now, Corey Seager is the best offensive shortstop. Don't even think about shortstops. He's one of the best offensive players in baseball today. And if we take a look at Francisco Lindor, who did not even have an 800 OPS and wasn't great in the playoffs, I mean, you can easily say that that would have been a steal for the Indians, considering they don't have to pay Corey Seager as much. They got Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin, and Lindor just wasn't the same guy in 2020. That would have been a crazy trade. But anyways, let's get back to the task at hand. Game number 4 recap. A dude named Randy just made Major League Baseball history. He passed Barry Bonds, Nelson Cruz, and Carlos Beltran. I called it yesterday. I said that he was going to do it. He hits his 9th home run of the postseason, which makes him #1 ever. And if you talk about rookies, he's now #1 in hits, home runs, extra base hits for a single postseason. And then I was scrolling through Twitter because I wanted to provide some more facts about game number 4, if there was anything crazy about what Randy Arozarena did. Look at this stat. He is second all-time to Babe Ruth for home runs per at-bat in the regular season as well as the postseason. What even is that? I feel so terrible for Cardinals fans, because instead of having Randy Arozarena, you have Tyler O'Neill, you have Dexter Fowler, you have Harrison Bader. Now, don't get me wrong, those guys are awesome, and also they had Dylan Carlson in the minor leagues, so they had too many players, I understand. You saw Luke Voit explode and Randy Arozarena become one of the best, if not the best, playoff hitter that we've ever seen, especially in the rookie season. I mean, it's just not going to get better than this. And from this point on, we had the Dodgers and the Rays going back and forth. I think there was 8 consecutive half innings in which a run was scored. Dodgers would score, Rays would score. 8 different half innings that happened, and then guess what? Brandon Lowe, in the span of about 14 minutes, goes from postseason bust to postseason hero. He had 2 home runs in a game a couple days ago, and then yesterday, what are the Dodgers doing? What are they doing? We'll talk about it at the end of the video, but I would say Dave Roberts lost this game for the Dodgers, and again, we'll talk about it in a short moment. I'm Brandon Lowe. Even though he's hitting below 200, he actually has a 176 batting average so far in the 4 games in the World Series, but he has 3 home runs and 6 RBIs and an 882 OPS. So that just goes to show you that batting average really does not mean much as long as you are hitting home runs, driving in RBIs, and your OPS is above 850. that will do it, whether in the playoffs or the regular season. That's all that matters. So the streak of 8 consecutive half innings of scoring ended in the bottom of the 8th as the Dodgers go into the 9th inning up by 1 single run. I think it was either 1 run or maybe it was tied. No, they were ahead by 1 going into the 9th. And then the bottom of the 9th happened. Kenley Jansen, who, like I said in the intro, has blown 4 saves in his World Series career after what happened to Brett Phillips. Just roll it.
Brett Phillips. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arozarena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, game 4 hero.
I'm not gonna lie, Kenley Jansen did not look completely awful. It didn't seem like he unraveled, almost like Edwin Diaz did a couple times in 2019. He was making his pitches in that at-bat against Brett Phillips. He was painting the inside and outside corners, but unfortunately that one final pitch, the cutter inside to Brett Phillips, he did not get it in further enough, but that was the only mistake of that at-bat. But props, and you have to tip your cap to Brett Phillips for making the most out of his opportunity. Now we have a ton of questions. Do we think that Kenley Jansen is going to have to get removed from the closing role? Why did Dave Roberts not leave in Brusdar Graterol, who actually had a really good 8th inning? I think he only came in for 1 at bat, but he looked fantastic. He was throwing easy 102 sinkers. Why do you not leave him in? Jansen has been prone to implode. Another question that you have to raise is, why is Mookie Betts not playing center field as a defensive player going into the final inning? Why is Chris Taylor manning center field? He is not the leader of the outfield. He is not the best defender. Maybe it's because Mookie doesn't really have a ton of innings in center field, especially with the Dodgers. So that's another question. Why is Chris Taylor in center field as opposed to Mookie Betts? And then also, Kenley Jansen. Why is he not backing up Will Smith, the catcher? To be honest with you, I've watched this play a couple different times. Even if Kenley Jansen was backing up Will Smith after he went to swipe and it ticked off his glove, there is no way that Jansen gets it and flips it in time to get out Randy Arozarena, who slipped. So yes, Randy, is it proper baseball to back up the catcher? Yes, he should have been there, but does it matter in hindsight? No, because I think Arozarena would have been safe either way. And then the final question I do have to pose is, do we think that Dave Roberts is going to be in his final series with the Dodgers, considering the plethora of mistakes that he has made, at least in my opinion? There's so many different examples dating back to the 2017 World Series, but for this one, Julio Urias has been their best relief pitcher for the entire postseason, and he only gave up 2 earned runs in those 4.2 innings pitched. And what happens? Dave Roberts, he does the same thing that Kevin Cash did a couple days ago when he took out Charlie Morton, I think in the 4th or the 5th inning, when Morton was at 66 pitches. And you're supposed to trust your bullpen, and I think that Roberts put his trust in the wrong guys. Training, he's been all right. Baez, he's been all right. I mean, Baez, you just cannot trust him in the playoffs, and that's something that we're going to be talking about for probably the entire offseason if the Dodgers do not come back to win this series, is the fact that Dave Roberts just might not be cut out to manage a team like the Dodgers. Maybe he's going to have to go to Baltimore or someone like that, where really your mistakes aren't really that important if you're a manager. So that pretty much does it for today's MLB recap. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you make of game number 4 between Corey Seager and Justin Turner having 8 hits combined? They each went 4 for 5 with the home run. You have Randy Arozarena making World Series. I mean, that game was insane. I wish I could have seen it live, but unfortunately my chronic migraines got in the way and I fell asleep for about 7 minutes and I missed the final play. Ah, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and roll what is his name? Brett Phillips? Yeah, Brett Phillips, what he said after the game, because this guy is so much fun to watch, because not really anything crazy happened on this date in MLB history. So Brett Phillips, take it away, man. Actually, before you go, I do quickly want to preview game number 5. It's going to be happening at 8:08 p.m. Eastern time. We have Clayton Kershaw versus Tyler Glasnow. I'm going to go with the Dodgers taking a 3-2 advantage today, because Glasnow, I can't see him performing at an elite level when he has struggled the entire postseason. Kershaw was fantastic in game number 1. I'm just praying to the baseball gods that he does it again and starts to turn around that black cat that has followed him, because he's the Peyton Manning of baseball. Great in the regular season, chokes in the playoffs. But hopefully the biggest choker in this series is that one blow up from Kenley Jansen. Even though he wasn't that bad, hopefully that's the one choke because I'm rooting for Clayton Kershaw. Anyways, sorry, wanted to mention that. I got the Dodgers in game number 5. Glasnow's probably going to give it 4 or 5 earned runs, in my opinion. Let me know your predictions and enjoy Brett Phillips.
Saw Randy slip. I was like, oh shoot, at least we tied it up. And then he missed the ball. I don't know what happened, but then he scored. The next thing I know, I'm airplaning around the outfield, and I get dogpiled, and here I am talking to the boys.